There is a lot going on at the moment, including the Royal Commission into the Robodebt disaster. But coalition members of Parliament, like Tehan, are focused on the bigger issues.
Parliament House is the home of Australian democracy. Parliament sits here, heads of state come to meet with our Prime Minister here. But Parliament will sit today under a flag that flies above Parliament House with a gaping hole in it. I hope Prime Minister Anthony Albanese will be able to fix this before Parliament sits today. We need to have pride in our institutions, we need to have pride in our Parliament, and we need to have pride in our flag.
That video was captioned with this: "The Australian flag flying above Parliament House has a gaping hole in it. We should have pride in our flag, and I hope the Prime Minister will fix this." So let's take a quick look into the flag that sits on Parliament House in Canberra. Contrary to what Dan thinks, Anthony Albanese's prime ministerial responsibility doesn't include climbing up and replacing a flag. There's a good reason for this. According to Parliament's own website, which is where Dan works, the flag is the same size as a double-decker bus. The flag mast is 81 metres tall. Changing and managing the flag is looked after by the Department of Parliamentary Services, who take care of Parliament House more generally. They need to have a specially trained team of 3 to raise and lower the flag. Given how big the flag is, and the strain bad weather can have on it, it's changed pretty regularly, normally the first Wednesday of each month. But here's the part that seems to be confusing certain coalition members. If bad weather damaged the flag, then that bad weather is probably preventing the team from safely changing it immediately. That seems like common sense to me. Now, Dan knows all this, but he can't miss an opportunity to try and make some sort of political point on social media. Here's another tweet he wrote: "Look at the state of our flag. We should have pride in our flag and our Parliament." Sky News, which apparently has nothing else to cover, also gave him the opportunity to repeat his carefully crafted script later in the day.
Parliament will sit today under an Australian flag which has gaping holes in it. We should be able to do better. We need to have pride in our institutions, pride in our Parliament, and pride in our flag. My hope is the Prime Minister will be able to fix this by the end of the day.
And he's not the only one, by the way. Coalition Senator James McGrath also had a go, saying that the situation was shameful. All this huffing and puffing resulted in an official response from the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate, who explained the obvious, which was that the flag had been damaged by high winds and storms. They also noted that the maintenance lift used to get people up the mast had broken down. The normal process would be followed, which is to replace the flag as soon as it was safe to do so. Dan couldn't help digging in one last time with this: "I'm pleased to see the government will now act to hoist a new flag above Parliament House." Is he hoping his followers will think that he was the reason the flag will be replaced? It's as if he thinks the team that looks after this stuff was just sitting around, hoping no one would notice the bus-sized flag on the building. He continues, "I hope their long list of excuses for the poor condition of the current flag will not delay this happening. Let's also hope we don't go through this again." So wild weather and staff safety are apparently just excuses, and he hopes that Labor can ensure the weather isn't bad in the future so the flag never gets damaged again. But is it really that shocking that the flag on Parliament House was torn? Surely, Parliament House wouldn't have been flying a torn flag when Dan was last in government. In fact, when he was Minister for Veterans Affairs, right? Right, Dan?
Just one question, thank you, Chair. I'm not sure if you have someone here who can respond to questions about the flag on Parliament House.
One currently flying.
Yes. You can? How often is it changed over?
That's right.
Senator, I became aware of the tear in the flag this morning, and I've asked our building services branch for some information. I'm not sure if that has yet been forthcoming. noting that there were significant winds over the weekend, which probably would have impacted heavily on that flag.
So we think the tear is new. I noticed it this morning as well.
Yes.
Okay. Well, perhaps you could, on notice, provide the committee with how often the flag is changed.
In 2016, the flag was flying when it was torn by heavy winds. I couldn't find a statement from Dan complaining about it then. I also couldn't find statements from these concerned coalition members about Scott Morrison when he used to wear the flag on his face, sometimes upside down. And as a side note, did I mention that Dan was Minister for Social Services in 2017 and 2018 when Robodebt was in full flight?
We need to have pride in our institutions, we need to have pride in our parliament, and we need to have pride in our flag.
What a clown.